So right now, I am speaking to Mr. Noel Gallagher. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sure you've had a busy day today talking up this incredible new album, fourth studio album. Does it get any more nerve-wracking as you release each album?
Well, once you've recorded it, it's out of your hands, and you can only do what you can do. And if it's successful, great. I mean, I don't even know how you define success these days anymore in this modern world, but it's enjoyable.
This is a really lovely album because it's quite introspective. You've kind of gone back to a time, I presume in the early part of your life. Is it that thing that sometimes you need to get away to come back home again to explore all those kind of things?
Well, if the album has a overriding feel, it would be reflective.
Mm-hmm.
The song, the title track, Council Skies, is a song about growing up on a council estate and trying to find young love and all that. The album itself, I don't really want to put too much like a theme to it. I just like people to, they can take from it what they will, do you know what I mean? But it was written in lockdown, so it was a reflective time for everybody, I think.
Was it exciting finally to get out of lockdown and record this in Abbey Road?
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, the strings were done in Abbey Road. All the rest of the recording was done in my studio. Not just getting out to go to the studio was exciting. Getting out of the house and not being shouted at for not having a mask on was a big deal. But at least something good came out of it. I got to write an album, so I wrote an album through it. So at least something positive came out of it from my end.
And there's been some really exciting collaborations on this album because one of the particular tracks, Pretty Boy, Robert Smith remix, it's just so good. What was it like working with Robert? What is it like working with Robert?
Without being a Cure fan, I've always been a fan of the Cure, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah.
And I've always admired his songwriting. And when I was doing the track Pretty Boy, it's as all the elements were added to it, and it started to sound like The Cure. And then one night I was just thinking, well, maybe I'll get Robert Smith to remix it. I don't even know if he does remixes. So anyway, in the music business, you're only 2 phone calls away from being in contact with anybody. And I got his email address, and I just emailed him and I actually thought he'd look at the name and think, oh God, I'm not sure, And but anyway, he emailed me back and he was interested, and I sent him the track and he loved it. And then, a few weeks later, he sent it back to me. And if I thought it sounded like The Cure when I sent it to him, well, it sounded like The Cure when it came back.
It's like your vocals on something that sounds like The Cure.
Not only that, I didn't realise it at the time until somebody pointed out to me and said, wow, that's one of the Smiths. Robert Smith and one of Oasis collaborating on the same track is insane. Who would have thought that had come to pass?
And this new album, there's this collaboration on this, and you've got Live Forever. You've done like a live version of Live Forever.
Well, that came about by I did a session back during the lockdown, and it came out so well that I've decided to put it on the record as a bonus material kind of thing. But it's great. It's kind of the original version of Live Forever, which is 30 years old. 30 years old next year. Sounds like it was written by a young guy that had his life in front of him. And this version that's on the bonus disc for the new album sounds like it's sung by an old guy who's kind of reflecting as to the feel of the album, I think.
Which is kind of nice though, because it shows, like the progression. It's interesting. I've been listening to Bono. He said that was a track that he wished that he had written.
Well, he's written a few himself.
I mean, I don't know how well you take to the fact that he said that you are the greatest tunesmith out of the UK since Paul McCartney.
Well, I think he's flirting with me. I can tell you if he is, it's working.
So you're about to play in Dublin on the 27th of August. It's going to be the Royal Hospital, Kilmainham. Ireland is kind of close to your heart, I take it?
I was there over the weekend, yes. I was in Dublin doing a bit of promo, but that gig in August with Happy Mondays and Primal Scream, if that gig would have happened in the 90s, it probably would have contained fatalities at some point. So it's a good job it's in a hospital. But no, I'm looking forward. Well, of course, Ireland is close to my heart. I get the hangovers to prove it as well.
When you played Slane many years ago, and I was a teenager, and I couldn't afford to go, and all my friends went to Slane, and they came back and they said that Oasis blew REM off the stage.
It was a good day, actually. It was one of our. I mean, we were at that point in '94, whenever it was. I think it was the original lineup, and we were pretty special back then. Yeah.
Yeah, but this album is so good, and just that realness of growing up, and just that struggle and getting through. It's a very hopeful album. There's a gorgeous track on it, actually, Easy Now. Tell us a bit about that.
When I'm writing songs, sometimes if I'm writing things and they tend to sound a bit Oasis-y, for want of a better expression, I usually tend to abandon them, because you'll end up just writing an inferior version of Supersonic or The Master Plan or Don't Look Back in Anger. But with that song, I got to the chorus and actually I was like, you know what? I think this is right up there, and it's kind of, to me, it's like a modern version of Little by Little or The Master Plan or something like that. So it's great. I mean, I knew when I finished it immediately that it was going to be great live and Oasis fans would love it. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's
a lovely track. I have to say, actually, there's a brilliant bonus track and it's called We're Gonna Get There in the End.
I hate that song.
Don't be saying that.
Yeah, I'm going to play it live though. It's a bit jaunty, but everybody loves it. And
okay.
I put it up on the internet years ago now. Everybody went mad for it, and it would have gone on the album had it had a different feel. But I mean, I put it on as a bonus track. But I do like it. I can see myself getting bored of it pretty quick though. I
also love Love Is a Rich Man.
Yeah. I love it myself. It's going to be struggle trying to find out which ones I'm going to play. I really can't play them all, but
yeah,
maybe I could do a special gig where I play the whole thing in sequence. But yeah, Love Is a Rich Man is great, and then there's a track called Think of a Number, which is great. I love the opening track. I mean, Dead to the World. It's a pretty special album in respect to High Flying Birds output, for sure.
Even the strings in Abbey Road have just really made the whole thing just really full and beautiful.
There are great moments in a musician's life when you're in Abbey Road with an orchestra and you hear how someone has interpreted your song. And the strings do sound magnificent on this record, I have to say. They're really fantastic.
Well, look, thank you so much. And that's going to be an amazing gig, the Royal Hospital, Kilmainham, the 27th of August. And it's all going to kick off. It's going to be like Slaying 94.
Hopefully. All right, well, no worries. Thank you.
You have a great day. Take care. God bless.